From the moment of birth, a person is clothed with basic human rights. Right to life is one of the basic as well as fundamental right without which all rights cannot be enjoyed. Right to life means a human being has an essential right to live, particularly that such a human being has the right not to be killed by another human being. But the question arises that if a person has the right to live, whether he has a right not to live. While giving this answer, the Indian courts have expressed different opinions. The term euthanasia comes from two ancient Greek words. Eu means good, thanatos means death. So, euthanasia means good death. It is an act or a practice of ending the life of an individual suffering from a terminal illness or in an incurable condition by injection or by suspending extraordinary medical treatment in order to free him of intolerable pain or from terminal illness. Euthanasia is defined as an intentional killing by an actor or omission of a person whose life is felt is not to be worth living. It is also known as mercy killing, which is an act where the individual who is in an irredeemable condition or has no chances of survival as he is suffering from painful life ends his life in painless manner. It is a gentle, easy and painless death, so as to avoid or end pain or suffering, especially of individuals suffering from incurable diseases. On March 9, 2018, the Supreme Court of India legalized passive euthanasia by the means of withdrawal of life support to patients in a permanent vegetative state. The decision was made as part of verdict in a case involving Arun Shambaug, who had been in a persistent vegetative state until her death in 2015. On 9 March 2018, the Supreme Court of India passed a historic judgment law permitting passive euthanasia in the country. This judgment was passed in wake of Pinky Virani's plea to the Supreme Court in December 2009 under the constitutional provision of the Next Friend. It is a landmark law which places the power of choice in the hands of individuals over the government, medical, religious control which sees all suffering as destiny. The Supreme Court specified two irreversible conditions to permit passive euthanasia law in its 2011 law. The brain dead for whom the ventilator can be switched off, those in persistent vegetative state for whom the feet can be tampered out and pain managing palliatives be added according to laid down international specification. The same judgment law also asked for scrapping of 309, the code which penalizes those who survive suicide attempts. In December 2014, Government of India declares it its intention to do so. However, on 25th February 2014, a three-judge bench of Supreme Court of India had termed the judgment in the Arun Shambaug case to be inconsistent in itself and has referred to the issue of euthanasia to its five-judge constitutional bench. And on 23rd December 2014, Government of India endorsed and revalidated the passive euthanasia judgment law in a press release after stating in the Rajya Sabha as follows, that the Honorable Supreme Court of India in its judgment dated 7th March 2011, while dismissing the plea for mercy killing in a particular case, laid down comprehensive guidelines to process cases relating to passive euthanasia. Thereafter, the matter of mercy killing was examined in Constitution with the Ministry of Law and Justice, and it has been decided that the Honorable Supreme Court has already laid down the guidelines. These should be followed and treated as law in such cases. At present, there is no proposal to enact legislation on this subject, and judgment of Honorable Supreme Court in binding on all. The Health Minister J.P. Nadda stated this in a written reply in Rajya Sabha. Aruna Shambaug was a nurse working at King Edward Memorial Hospital, Parle, Mumbai. On 27 November 1973, she was strangled and sodomized by Sohan Lal Valmiki, a sweeper. During the attack, she was strangled with a chain, and the deprivation of oxygen has left her in a vegetative state ever since. She has been treated at KEM since the incident and is kept alive by feeding tube. On behalf of Aruna, her friend Pinky Virani, a social activist, filed a petition in Supreme Court arguing that the continued existence of Aruna is a violation of her right to live in dignity. The Supreme Court made its decision on 7 March 2011. The court rejected the plea to discontinue Aruna's life support but issued a set of broad guidelines legalizing passive euthanasia in India. The Supreme Court's decision to reject the discontinuation of Aruna's life support was based on the fact that hospital staff who treated her and take care of her did not support euthanizing her. She died from pneumonia on 18 May 2015 after being in coma for a period of 42 years. Elsewhere in the world, active euthanasia is almost always illegal. The legal status of passive euthanasia, on the other hand, including the withdrawal of nutrition or water, varies across the nations of the world. After the court ruling, the Telegraph consulted with Muslims, Hindu, Jain and Christian religious heads. Though generally against legalizing euthanasia, Christians and Jains thought passive euthanasia was acceptable under some circumstances. Jains and Hindus have the traditional rituals Santara and Prayogpasa respectively, wherein one fasts until death. The Jain vow of Santara is observed by Jains only in special circumstances. These are mentioned in Jain texts like Ratnakandara. Some members of India's medical establishment were skeptical about euthanasia due to the country's weak rule of law and large gap between the rich and the poor, which might lead to exploitation of the elderly by their families. Reports by Reuters observed in 2018 that the issue is not considered politically contagious in India.